Alan McCarty. Alan McCarty Jr. Milton was found guilty of threatening to kill Circuit Judge Stacia Warren after she ruled against him in a child custody case. Circuit Judge Matt Foxman said on Wednesday that McCarty, 36, also threatened a prosecutor's unborn child, prompting the crude convict to erupt in the courtroom, the Daytona Beach. "What a bunch of fucking lies, you stupid piece of shit," McCarty yelled at Foxman, who earlier threatened to duct tape McCarty's mouth for his disruptions during his trial. "You threatened my life. You." Foxman then ordered McCarty to be removed from the courtroom, but he kept yelling curses and racial slurs at the judge and an assistant state attorney. McCarty then spent the remainder of his sentencing hearing in another room where he watched the proceeding through a one-way glass, the same location he spent much of his trial. McCarty also insulted and told off his public defender, Ryan Belanger, cursing at him in court. Belanger said McCarty's mother wanted to apologize for her son's behavior, but declined to speak in court. The jury of 3 women and 3 men took about 30 minutes to find McCarty guilty of 2 counts of threats or extortion and 2 counts of corruption by threat against a public official. Besides threatening the judge, McCarty also threatened a pair of dispatchers in the phone calls. Ricky Hand. Springfield, Ohio native Ricky Hand literally had a trick up his sleeve for Clark County courtroom when he was dished him a 40-year sentence. Hand was being sentenced for his connection in a string of armed robberies, about 30 in total, that he attributed to his past drug use. 46-year-old Ricky Hand asked the judge, "Did you just give me 40 years, sir? You just gave me 40 years. Well, guess what?" And he reached for something under his arm. Officials say Hand hid pill bottles filled with feces and urine in an arm sling he was wearing. Hand pulled out a bottle of urine and feces and threw it at the members of the courtroom. Within seconds of the outburst, courtroom officials were able to restrain Hand. Hand pleaded guilty to the crimes, hoping to receive a lesser sentence and help for his drug problems. He ended up only facing charges for 7 of the 30 alleged robberies, but that was enough to get him 40 years in the big house. The sheriff's office is now investigating the courtroom incident. Hand could also face a new felony charge. Mikael Hugenberg. A 34-year-old Northern Kentucky man is facing assault charges against 2 Campbell County deputies after an incident during a jury selection for his trial. The incident took place Monday. Mikael Hugenberg was about to stand trial for assaulting a deputy at the Campbell County Jail. He wasn't handcuffed, he wasn't shackled. The video shows he apparently got up and approached the jury. He was sitting at his defense table and he tried to approach the jury. The deputies asked him not to approach the jury, and he got up and charged toward the jurors again, and the deputies went in between them. He ended up slugging one of the deputies, knocking him down, and actually injuring 2 deputies. He was subdued when deputies activated a stun gun on Hugenberg's leg, according to Franzen. Hugenberg could be heard yelling. After the judge cleared the potential jurors from the courtroom, Hugenberg was taken back to his cell at the Campbell County Jail. His case was back before the judge on Tuesday, but Hugenberg's attendance was through video monitoring. He was sentenced to 1 year in jail for the initial assault on a deputy. Franzen said Hugenberg faces additional charges for assaulting deputies in the courtroom. Chance Macko. Macko was 17 at the time of the March 7, 2016 incident. The teen was in court to face charges stemming from a high-speed chase in a car reported stolen from Columbus, where Macko was living in a halfway house for juvenile offenders. When the teen appeared in court, a court camera captured an incident involving bailiff James Buckner, an incident that has resulted in a criminal investigation. While in court, Macko had his hands cuffed in front of him when Buckner, the court bailiff, walked behind him, placed his hands on Macko's back, and pushed the teen forward. Macko told Buckner not to touch him. Buckner paused before putting the cuffed teen in a headlock, covering his mouth with a hand, and then throwing him to the floor before dragging the teen on his back out of the room. Christopher Colon. Colon, 27, appeared before Hurley via a jailhouse courtroom video link on Thursday morning, a day after his arrest in Pompano Beach, on charges stemming from a domestic violence case. Colon had allegedly violated 2 restraining orders by taking a girlfriend to a restaurant where an ex-girlfriend was also eating, according to an arrest report. When Hurley denied his release from jail, Colon threatened to file a lawsuit before walking away from the lectern. Colon returned momentarily and cursed him for the first time before again walking away. Detention deputies chased after Colon. Other prisoners could be heard laughing and booing off camera as the now handcuffed Colon was brought back. A deputy turned off the microphone as Colin resumed cursing, but the judge asked the deputy to turn on the microphone to hear Colin. After lobbying more insults, Colin said, "I'm dead-ass serious." He leaned closer to the microphone. Hurley told him that he would be held without bond until further order of the court. In reply, Colin invited the judge to perform a sex act on him. Hurley replied, "The court is inclined at this time to hold you in contempt of court." Still using colorful language, he twice told Hurley that he had lawyers. Colin tried to walk away, but deputies grabbed him and brought him back before the judge. The judge gave Colin a chance to explain why he should not be held in contempt of court. Colin said the restraining orders were dropped and his lawyers had taken care of everything. The judge told Colin he had 30 days to appeal the contempt of court sentence. As the judge thanked him for appearing, Colin tried to make one last verbal shot. As he uttered his last epithet, they simply turned off the microphone mid-curse. Christopher Colin got 364 days in jail for his offense, going off on a rapid-fire and profanity-laced tirade at the judge. William Terry. William Terry was on trial for a burglary, but when judge announced his sentence, his reaction was not what expected. Sheriff's deputy body camera video shows William Terry fly into a rage after getting sentenced to 18 months in prison for a burglary that turned violent. In the video, he tells his family, "It's only 18 months." But he also calls out the victim in the case. And as the deputy starts to lead him to jail, he turns violent. Finally, two deputies take Terry to the ground. That was it for today's video. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button.